This has been the craziest summer ever for transfers. And in the video today, I'm going to be looking at a couple of things. I'm going to be looking at the top 5 Premier League transfers we've seen so far, the top 5 transfers we've maybe seen around the fantasy football sphere, and the top 3 transfers as voted by you guys in the comments section of the last video. At the end of this video, make sure you jump onto the channel homepage and check out the poll that we're going to have there for you to vote for who is the best player featured in the video. The winner of the suggestion will win a rare Shane O'Neill. And if you jump into the comment section of this video and tell me, and not including Saudi Arabia Red X transfers, right, but who is the worst transfer we've seen in the summer transfer window so far, and we'll feature them on the next video. The best one is going to win a rookie Matija Ilinic. Limited. If you're brand new to Sorare and you haven't even opened up your account yet, there's a link in the description in this video that will get you a free card once you've bought 5 from auctions. It's the best way to sign up. It's the way everyone signs up. And to be honest with you, if you start a Sorare account, career, wherever we're thinking of it as, and you don't get that free card, you're one card behind everyone else, you know. By clicking that link, you do support me and help me out and everything. So if you get stuck or you need any help, just jump into the comment section and I'll sort you out. And if you need actual beginner explainer videos, they're also in the description of this video if you need that too. At any point, if you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, we're pushing for 10,000 subscribers and we cannot do that without you guys hitting the subscribe button. So please do. If you're enjoying the content here, you laugh, you learn, you have a giggle, you maybe think, oh, I didn't think of that before, or wow, that guy is so wrong. Whatever it might be, hit the like button, hit subscribe for more, get into the comment section and get involved. And yeah, guys, let's just get stuck straight into it. Now, when it comes to fantasy football, we like to see the proof in the pudding. We like to see the transfer go through and we like to see the player actually hit the ground running. Now, I watch a lot of Spanish football and I've watched Real Betis over their first 2 matches, and Isco is definitely one of the transfers that happened in this window that a lot of people had a lot of hype around. But to be honest with you, if you looked at his scores and only his scores, you probably wouldn't be too satisfied with his start to life in Real Betis with a 41 and a 43. Now, both of these games were very tough against Atletico Madrid and Villarreal, and I can tell you from watching it, old Isco was back. It's only going to be a matter of time before he starts breaking 60s and 70s on the regular. I guess Isco must be like a 4 or 5 times Champions League winner at this point. For the rare card going for £112 at the moment, I think Isco has had a fantastic transfer and we're yet to see really the fruit of the labour, but from what I've seen on the pitch, it's definitely a win. We all love a wonder kid, and wonder kid goalkeepers are like gold dust, and Chelsea found an absolute gem in Gabriel Gaga Slonina when they scooped him out from the Chicago Fire and signed him, I think it was last January. He's gone on loan to Belgium and he's going from being a non-playing goalkeeper to being a #1 goalkeeper at a team in a European league, which is fun. The first 2 games at Eupen have been hot and cold in good measure. A 5-0 loss to Bruges, a 3-1 win to Kreutzig. He actually got a last man tackle. He sweeper keepered out of the box and tackled somebody, intercepted the ball, something like that, which has just been as valuable for him being a goalkeeper as like a striker would be for scoring a goal. So yeah, good start to life for him. And at 19 years of age, he is a real wonder kid prospect that I think Chelsea fans around the world will be really excited to watch his development, particularly with all the goalkeeper drama that they've really had on their hands over, especially now, but the last like 3 or 4 years. Now, Southampton have been relegated from the Premier League, and when that happens, there's always like Premier League-ish quality players that will probably find themselves going out around Europe. Being a Celtic fan, I was actually quite a big fan of Mohamed El Younousi, and through his endeavour and hard work, he definitely was in amongst it in the Premier League at a bottom 3 team. The Norwegian international has left Southampton and he has went to Copenhagen in the Danish Super League, and he's, again, similar to Isco, not quite hit the ground running yet. He's only just landed and really just getting bedded into the team, but already in the first couple of games and scores, you can see he is getting integrated, and slowly but surely the minutes are creeping up as Copenhagen try and qualify for the Champions League. And, you know, there's his first goal at the weekend there against a minnow team, right enough. But these are Mohamed El Younousi's fantasy football scores from when he was at Celtic. And as you can see, in that Scottish League situation, when you forget about the substitute appearances and just look at the starts, and when he's actually, you know, been able to influence the game, he's been a very good scorer. After having another couple of leagues in the Premier League, that's going to lift your level, your tempo, and your ability, really. Now going back into Denmark, I think this is going to be a great move when it pans out for Mohamed El Younousi. Ajax are famed for doing fantastic business across European football, and with the failed transfer of Calvin Bassey didn't really work out, they've went out and signed Jakov Medic from FC St. Pauli. And the 24-year-old Croatian has taken to life in Amsterdam pretty well. He started off playing and starting both the games. Now, on his debut, you've probably seen it, it went a bit viral. He hit an absolute worldie, and on his fantasy football, he hit 82 points basically, so huge performance. But in the next game, he had an error led to goal, which is definitely not what you want to see, but he showed big game potential already, and we know Ajax have got a great eye for talent. This is a guy I think we're going to see his name in European football, for Ajax of course, make a name for himself this season. Now, I'm a big fan of a Maverick, and I'm a big fan of a guy that goes to a fun league to play good football and be the main man in a team that's having an important season. And Sporting Braga finished really high in the league last year, and they have brought in, on a permanent deal now, Rodrigo Zalazar. I'm pretty sure he was in before, he was on loan or something, whatever. But the Uruguayan, was it St. Pauli, was it Schalke? He's been around Europe a little bit without ever finding his feet, but he is in Portugal now, and that is him starting to slowly get bedded into the team. Let's see how it goes. He's got a really high ceiling. A lot of people really think this guy could hit big, and as you can see, in a really bad Schalke team last season as they went down, when he did get minutes, he did get game time, he was obviously effective. So it'll be really interesting to see how he does for Braga, and with them playing in European football this year, he could be one of those guys that sets a Premier League team alight, kills them in a game for Braga, and then somebody goes and spends 50 million on him or something. But Rodrigo Zalazar is a talent, and he's definitely one to look out for. In no particular order, the top 5 transfers I think we've seen in the Premier League so far would be, first of all, Dominik Szoboszlai. Now, Szoboszlai, I was a big fan of at Leipzig. I've watched this guy's career thoroughly at Leipzig. Very robust, very versatile midfield, and the real epitome of the modern day attacking box-to-box midfielder. And already in his first 2 games at Liverpool, his scores have been really credible, really solid. A hard game away to Chelsea and a very convincing win against Bournemouth, where his fantasy football scores here show he is an important part of the Liverpool team. He's taking set pieces, he's getting involved in the final third, and he is Premier League level and above. You know, he's not drowning in the deep end, as it were. So a guy like this with such a high ceiling, a dead ball specialist, we've not seen him score a goal in the Premier League yet. Szoboszlai has got a hammer in his boot, and I think once this guy gets going properly, the 22-year-old is going to look to be an absolute steal for Liverpool and will go on to be a very, very important player. Similarly, could be said for Declan Rice. I think this is the biggest transfer Arsenal have ever made in the last, let's say, 17 years or something like that. It's huge. It's the first time there's been a genuine heir to the throne of Patrick Vieira, I feel. And watching Arsenal in the first 2 games, Declan Rice's role in the team is there to be seen. His fantasy scores are fine for the first 2 games, tight games with only 1 goal being the difference. And he's not a goal guy, you know what I mean? But he's it's not as if there've been tons of goals away and then subsequently all the passing statistics become more valuable because it was a key pass, it was a final third pass, etc. So for his first 2 games, I don't think Arsenal will be too happy with a 2-1 and a 1-0 win against circa bottom half clubs last year. So I think there's more to come from Arsenal, and I think that means there's more to come from this Declan Rice, and we've seen his scores before at West Ham in this situation, so I think Declan Rice is going to have a fantastic season. I think he's clearly one of the best transfers we've seen in this window. I was quite worried when Sandro Tonali made the move to Newcastle, because I'm thinking Eddie Howe and Newcastle have bought this guy to be a defensive midfielder, a number 6, and that's not him. And thankfully, in his first 2 games at Newcastle, it's clear to see that nobody thinks he's a 6. They've been playing him in a kind of number 8. They've been playing a kind of triple 8 midfield. We've been talking about it on the channel. Feel free to check out all the Newcastle content if you care to. But in the first 2 games, 5-1, very impressive victory against Aston Villa. Oh, basically 70 points. And a very tight game, which I don't think anyone in the Newcastle team did well in. He didn't even play 90 minutes. He played 67. He only had a 31 score. This is quite in line with what we've seen in Italy, but I do feel his importance in the team and the tempo of the Premier League actually suits Sandro Tonali much better, particularly on Sorare, because Sorare is about scoreable actions, and the Premier League versus Serie A, there's just many more actions in a Premier League match than there is in a Serie A match, like per minute or per 90 minutes or whatever. So I do feel that this is maybe just a little twinkle. I know he's had a goal here, you know, but I do feel that Sandro's probably going to go up a level in terms of SO5, because I think Newcastle are a great team that are really putting the focus on him. Everyone has been waiting to see where James Maddison would go when he left Leicester City, and I think he shocked a lot of people. He shocked many anyway in choosing Tottenham Hotspur over a few other suitors, but he has bought into Ange Ball and he has taken to it like a duck to water. He's been fantastic in the first 2 matches. I think he's injured for the next week or 2. It's hard to judge, but he, against Brentford, against Man United, he's been everywhere, all over the place, and his AA game is consistently solid. 19 over his first 2 games, which is fantastic. He's getting a lot of set pieces. He's playing lots of balls into the box, but he's winning tackles. He's making interceptions. He's winning duels as well. He is an all-action midfielder, and that's not maybe a description James Maddison gets often enough, but under Ange Postecoglou in this Tottenham team, he is a 1000% complete package player. I was also worried about the Moussa Diaby transfer because Moussa Diaby is a great player with a lot of talent, a lot of pace, and a lot of fantastic technique. But 55 million, I laughed at people that said this Tonali was an overpay at 55 mil. Diaby could be an overpay quite easily, but it could be a bargain. It's one of those ones where I think it's 40% likely to be a bargain, 60% it's going to be an overpay. But in the first couple of games, Moussa Diaby is bedded into the Premier League very, very well and adjusted to working in his new team under Unai Emery as well. And these scores I don't think really reflect it. Of course, he did very well in his debut against Newcastle, but in the other two games, I didn't see the Hibs game in fact. And Everton, he did only play 60 minutes. I don't know why that Hibs game, I thought it was a league match. I wasn't aware of for some reason. Obviously it's not, but but yeah, he's been very good, and I think these scores again are quite fair. You know, obviously he's got a goal, he's a forward, you expect him to get decisive actions, and if he consistently knocks between 8 and 14 AA, he's a great striker card in a team that's going to play midweeks, and a team where he is the main guy, similar to what he was in Leverkusen. It's not one of these transfers where main guy at Leverkusen, like Leon Bailey, goes to Aston Villa and can't get a game. Moussa Diaby is definitely going to get a game, and maybe Leon Bailey might too now. But for Moussa Diaby, I think it's all on and up. Now, in order, the top 3 transfers nominated by you guys for the Road to Glory series. Number 1, we've not actually seen him kick a ball yet for his new team, but he was the 3rd most recommended. I thought, let's just do a top 3. We've got Wilf Zaha. Now, a huge transfer out of the Premier League. He's went to Galatasaray, and a lot of people expect him to demolish the Turkish Super League, who's been a little bit injured over recent times, of course. But Galatasaray are also in European football, and that's what Zaha is after. He's after playing midweeks. He wants to get out there, play some football across Europe, win some titles, win some trophies, and a player with that motivation and a distinct top 3 side in a European league that Zaha should be better than, clearly, because of all his Premier League experience over his career to this point. This has got all the hallmarks and all the makings of a wonderful transfer, as long as he stays fit, of course. The second most touted was another Ajax transfer, and Branko van de Boomen made huge headlines for his statistics when Toulouse got promoted from Ligue 2 to Ligue 1, and then last year in Ligue 1, his statistics remained quite consistent. You know, they weren't as good as they were obviously the year before, but they were pretty damn good all the same. And Ajax have went out and they have brought him in to really try and fix their midfield problem that they've created by selling the likes of Gravenberch and a few others without really replacing them properly. And already in his return to Holland, as you can see, he's had 2 games, is 88 solid, a 34 and a dominant game, and that's what you expect from an Ajax guy like this. And in a tight game, 2 each, you know, 11. So I think this is going to be proof in the pudding. What people thought Van de Boomen would be for Ajax, he will be. And number 1, you guessed it, it is Dusan Tadic. Now, I don't know why anyone didn't nominate Messi, but maybe the video's a wee bit older than the Messi transfer, him playing in the cups and stuff. So maybe Messi will be in the next video, who knows. But number 1 is Dusan Tadic, who the Ajax, you know, streets won't forget, cult icon as it were. 34 years of age, has moved to Fenerbahce now. At Ajax, this guy slayed. He was a big part of every Ajax team that you've heard about over the last, I don't know, say 7 years or something like that. Going to Europa League finals, Champions League semi-finals, etc. So a really, you know, renowned player in European football circles. And straight away at Fenerbahce, he's played how many games? Wow. He's been there 5 games and he's dropped in incredible scores. He's better than ever. And at 34 years of age, that's the sort of scoring profile people expect Zaha to start getting. He's not going to be taking all the corners and stuff that Tadic takes and whatever. But yeah, great start to life for Tadic in these European qualifiers and as the Turkish League has came back. But over 5 games, an incredible, incredible return. Don't forget to leave your comment down below and nominate who you think is the worst transfer of this window for your chance to win a Matija Ilinic rookie. Jump over to the channel homepage and vote on the poll for who you think is the best transfer we've seen to this point on screen. And now with some other stuff that I've made it, you know, YouTube, they think you might enjoy it. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one.